And we're back in the garage. So today we're going to be talking about thermal imaging cameras, how we can use them in the HVAC world. So we're going to be doing a review on the Vevor SC240M handheld thermal camera. So this is the guy right here. This was sent to me by Vevor. So, but we are going to do an honest review. So hopefully this thing's pretty awesome, but I'm already impressed just by the packaging. So let's open this thing up and let's get into it. So here we go. Okay, so I got the plastic covering taken off, so we're going to go ahead and open this. So we just pull this top off, and I got to say, I'm pretty impressed with this packaging. I mean, this is pretty awesome. All right, so there she is. So we're going to go ahead and remove this. So this is a nice padding here. Oh, look at this. It even comes with an SD card, and it's a Kingston brand. This is a good brand. I used to use their memory for my PCs. It's a 64 gig, so that's awesome. That means we can take pictures. I wonder if we can record video. It has a calibration certificate. That is awesome. That is super awesome. Product certificate. We have a quick start guide, and then here is the thing in all its glory. This is nice. Oh, get to peel this off. Yeah. All right. So this is it right here. It's definitely a lot bigger than I thought. I thought this was going to be like a really chintzy kind of thing, but this is pretty substantial. I mean, this is awesome. Let's see how big it is. So we'll go ahead and measure it. So width wise, so the width wise on this guy is 2 3/4, and the length on this guy is almost 9 inches. That's pretty cool. So we're going to go ahead and turn it on for the first time. Let's see if I haven't charged it yet. Oh, and then I forgot to tell you, it does come with a charging cable. Looks like it's a USB-A to USB-C. So that's cool. So again, I haven't charged this up. So this is pretty much straight out of the box. So it looks like it does have a charge. Right now we have our normal camera. But it looks like it says system is initializing. So it's, starting up. So we'll go ahead and let this thing start up. Okay, cool. So this is the first time we've turned it on, so it's going to have us go through the setup. So we're going to go ahead and set it to whatever language we want. We're going to do English. Here we can set the date. Okay, and then the time right now is 8:41. And then I guess I hit the enter button. Or no, I want to hit back. Nope, let's try enter. Okay, cool. So there's the enter. So right out of the box, it's almost fully charged. That's pretty good. Okay, so we have our SD card, and we have the contacts pointed towards us. Here's the screen, so it's that way, I think. So we'll go ahead and pop that in there. All right, and now it's a little springy, so you got to give it a little push in there. And then there it goes. It clicks in place. All right, so now that we got this thing booted up, let's show you some of the features. So this button right here, this is going to be the LED. So on the back of this right here, you have to actually push and hold it. You have an LED light. You push and hold it, turns off. All right. This button right here, this is the play button. So if you have any recorded videos or you have any photos, that's how you would access those. This arrow here is the back button. The middle is the enter button, and then you have up, down, left, and right for navigation. And then you have the power button that's going to turn it on and off. Whenever you're in the normal viewing mode, if you hit the enter button, it's going to bring this up where you have measurement mode, and you can set different things. So right now we have everything turned off. So if we were to go into, we hit enter, we go into measurement mode, we can actually set some stuff. So I can put center spot, right? So that's always going to show me the center of the image. And then if I go again, I can add hot spots. So you can see now, it's hard to see. Come on. I have a hot spot here. I don't know. But yeah, here, let's put my hand in there. So you see that red one? That's going to point to the hottest spot on the image. Okay, now if we go here, we go back to measurement mode, and we can put cold spot. That's going to show the green one. That's going to show the coolest spot on the screen. So it's actually, detecting the highest temperature and the lowest temperature within its view. So that's really cool. Now on the screen itself, It's hard to see it right now, but here in the corner you see a little E with a equals 0.95. That's your current emissivity setting. So in these, what do you call it? In the quick start guide, we actually have a graph here that will tell you the different emissivity settings. So this is just like an infrared thermometer. So let's see, here we go. So if you're looking at skin, you want a 0.98 setting. Currently this is at 0.95. If you're looking at printed circuit board, you want 0.91, cement or concrete 0.92, pottery or porcelain, so on and so forth. So this is probably good to take a picture of that and keep that on you at all times, because basically what happens is it's shooting an infrared light at a surface, and it has to bounce back. But different types of surfaces, different types of materials bounce back at different rates, so you have to adjust the emissivity rating. So yeah, if you want to really dial it in. But yeah, so anyway, let's go over this. So we have view mode. So we can change what the view looks like. So right now we have infrared, we have fuse, which is some kind of weird off coloring. We have a PIP, looks like it's just where it's a kind of a hybrid of the two. We have visible, so that's just your standard visible light, so it's a standard camera. And then you have alignment. So we're going to keep this in infrared for now. So we're going to try the next one, palette. So we can actually, it looks like we can change the type of colors it's using. So we can do white hot, black hot, iron, lava, rainbow, rainbow HC, or red gray. So yeah, so the default setting was iron. So we'll just keep it on iron for now. And then the last setting is settings, and this is where you're going to change your settings. So there's quite a few of them here. You have a measure parameter. So here's where you would change your emissivity setting. So you choose that, and then you can go up or down to change it. We're going to keep it at 0.95. Temperature, distance, that's going to be your distance of the temperature, the distance of what you're measuring. And it looks like it's in meters, so 0.5 meters. So that would be 1 meter is 3 feet, so that would be 1.5 feet. Okay, so keep that in mind. Temperature scale, we can do -3 to 305 degrees, or we can do 212 degrees up to 1022. Now for our uses, we're going to keep it at where it's set. High-low alert, you can set alerts for a high temp or a low temp. That's pretty awesome. You can even have it where the LED will turn on. Photo settings, photo auto save. You can turn that on or off. Right now it's on manual, so I have to tell it to save, which is I prefer. Temperature unit, that's how you would change it. You can do Celsius, Fahrenheit, or Kelvin, but we're going to keep it on there. Time and date, the language. You can adjust the display brightness. You can turn off auto power off, so basically it turn itself off after a certain time. Currently it's set for 20 minutes on default. You can do 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or 20 minutes, or you can just turn it off. And then system settings, you can get device information, you can do a factory reset, or you can format your card. Now again, if you want to take a photo, you basically just pull the trigger, right? So we'll take a photo of my hand here, and there we go. It's going to ask me, do I want to save? I can hit the back button and say no, so it'll delete it. I'll take another one, and I want to save it, so we hit the middle button, and boom, now it's saved. So when we go back in here, we can see our gallery. And look at that. That's me right there looking pretty hot. Wah, wah. So anyway, yeah, and then I believe this can take video, and the way you do that is you hold the trigger down, and you can see here, now it's got a little timer here, so it's telling you how long, your video is. So we'll put some motion in here. Okay, and then we're going to hit it again. Okay, and it stopped, so it's going to ask us if we want to save. Yes, we do. We're going to hit the playback button here, and then we are going to find our video, so we'll just hit the enter, and as you can see, it records video. That's awesome. So yeah, so this is a pretty Pretty amazing thing going on. Also, I forgot. So we'll talk about the what's on screen. So right here we have the date. You can turn that on or off. Personally, I'm going to have that on. You have your battery indicator there. You have the current temperature here. That's going to be your center point that it's detecting. Your maximum, it's showing the hottest point, which will be that little red one. And then your minimum, which is going to be the green one, which is moving around. Okay? So that's how you know which one's which. This right here is your temperature scale, so it's showing you the two temperatures and what the scale of color looks like. All right? And then down here it has the emissivity. Let me see if I can get a darker, colder spot. Yeah, see? Right there. That's your emissivity rate setting currently, so you can see what it's at. But yeah, so that's pretty much everything on this guy. Also, it has one of these screws, so you can screw this onto a tripod. So that's pretty cool. You could probably put it on a tripod and hit record and just record whatever temperature, you know, if you have to leave the room or something. So yeah, this thing is already pretty awesome. So we're going to go ahead and take this out into the field and see how it does. We're definitely going to be keeping it in this case. So yeah, but we're going to charge it up. So again, you put your SD card right here, and then here's your charge cable or your charging port. So yeah, let's go ahead and try this thing out in the field and see how it goes. So here we go. All right, so I'm over here doing a PM. So yeah, it's kind of cool because I'm just doing this here to kind of see stuff. So I could tell that this furnace has been running. You can see how it's warm because that's where the burner box is. And then you can see that one's been running. And that one hasn't really been running, but the fan has. And we have these booster inducers. See, yeah. That one's cold, so that hasn't ran for a while. This one has been running because you can see it's hot. And that one over there has been running. So this tells me that this one hasn't been running. So I wonder if maybe there's an issue with that furnace over there. Another thing you can use this for is if you're checking breakers, if you want to see if maybe they're, you know, hot, you can actually just go in here and shoot the whole thing. If one of them's warmer than the others, you'll see it right away. So yeah, this thing's pretty cool. And of course we can use it for motors too. All right, so we can see that this guy has not been running for a while. Current temperature is 70 or 55. Our maximum temperature is 77. Our minimum is 47. Now obviously our motor's been running. You can see the heat that that's putting off. Not very much. So that's good. So our motor temperature is good. So let's go ahead and cycle this thing and see what happens. Okay, so I'm calling for heat between R and W. And let's see if this thing works. Okay, we got Igniter. And we can see that sucker get hot right there. And look at that. No ignition. So that's crazy. So all I did was I pointed this thing at all three furnaces and saw that this one was colder. And it looks like it's not igniting. So already this thing is pretty handy. I didn't even have to open the units. So if I ever have multiple units and I don't know which one it is, I can see which one's the coldest one because I know that's the one that's not heating. So that's already pretty cool. So I want to show you something really cool. We can actually see conductive heat. So as you know, there's the three forms of heat transfer. There's radiant heat, conductive heat, and convection. So I'm going to show you a real good So I'm going to show you an example of conductive heat in action using this thermal imaging camera. So let's go ahead and do this. So you can see here I'm shooting wood, right? And it's not very warm. It's about 58 degrees. It's not, you know, that crazy. But if I were to put my hand, if I'm shooting my hand here, you can see I'm pretty warm. I'm about like 95-ish, right? Well, check this out. I'm going to put my hand right here, right? So the heat that's in my hand is going to be transferred to the wood because the wood is actually cooler than my hand is, right? So all those heat molecules are going to transfer from my hand into the wood, okay? So now that I've removed my hand, we pull this out, look at that, there's my handprint. So that's all the heat that transferred from my hand into the wood, and it shows up as a handprint. And that's what we call conductive heat. All right, so I was checking the motor right here, and I set this down for a minute. I don't know if that shows up on camera, but yeah, it's fogged up on the inside. That's not good. Not good at all. Well, hopefully that dries out. We can use it because I cannot see the screen at all. Yeah, and it's on right now. I don't know if you can see. And we're back in the garage, and as you can see, this imaging camera has been working great. So it's been about a week now, and I'm pretty happy with it. I didn't really have any issues with it except for the screen fogging up that one time, and that was literally the only time it happened. I had it sitting on top of a package unit for about 15 minutes in the cold. It was like in the 20s, and so the inside of the screen fogged up. But I set it back inside my truck in the cab for about 10 minutes, and it cleared up. Never had that issue again. So probably shouldn't be leaving it out in the cold anyway. But yeah, I dropped it a couple times. Nothing broke, nothing shattered. Everything seems to still be functional. So I'm pretty happy with this thing. And this is one of those tools where it's one of those tools where you're like, I don't really need it. But then like once you have it, you're like, wow, I can do all kinds of crazy stuff with it. So I'm definitely happy that I have it, and I will definitely continue using it. And you know, as far as the purchasing price is definitely a fair price. It's a little over $300. I think they have some kind of discount going on if you register. I'm not sure. You might want to check their website. But there's another larger company that just released one, and the specs are very similar to this. I think the only difference is the screen's a little bit wider. And it's like $1,200, and they say that's an affordable price. I don't know about you, but you know, that's a lot. If I can get something like this for $300, I'm gonna go with this. The quality is pretty good. I mean, I was pretty shocked about how the quality is based on the price, because most of these imaging cameras are over $1,000. This thing is well below $1,000, and it performed great. I'm gonna continue using it in the field. So if this is something you want to try out, you want to pick one up for yourself and support this channel, click on the link below. That will take you to their website where you can pick one of these up for yourself, and it'll help out the channel as well. So anyway, hopefully this review helps you out if you're thinking about getting one of these and you don't want to spend over $1,000 on it. So thanks for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe, comment, tell me what a horrible technician I am. Hit that bell notification and follow me on Instagram and Facebook. And if you want to support the channel, click on the link in the description below and pick one of these up for yourself. Thanks for watching.